Hey everybody, this is Chris with Night of Living Card Games. I'm back from vacation and I thought it would be time to wrap up my Mojo mini campaign with Miss Marvel Justice. So as you can see, I've got everything set up. Our starting encounter set is the sitcom encounter set, so every obligation will get a acceleration icon. Because I won the previous two scenarios, I chose an upgrade or support I control, Amir and Nakia, and I get to start with them in play at the cost of adding threat equal to their cost. So instead of starting with 10, I'm going to start with 12. But now I got my personas in play, and I'm pretty much good to go. So let's kick this thing off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's see, go for champions. My suit. Shrink is really good. I get a lot of good stuff here. All right, definitely keeping the suit. Liking shrink out. I think I will keep Ironheart. I'm gonna pitch go for champions. I don't need it this early. And I think I'm gonna keep a big hands out. And draw 2 more. I get Red Dagger. Ooh, Nick Fury. All right, so let us start by using Kamal's ability to discard until I get a Miss Marvel card. I get a wiggle room. I'm going to use Amir. I'm going to throw Sneak By onto the bottom of my deck. Draw a card, which is Bruno. Alright, so Red Dagger. Alright, sorry, Bruno. So I'm going to use Red Dagger, Ironheart, Bruno, and my Nakia discount to play Nick Fury, which will draw me 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. Right, I think we're going to flip ourselves up here. Alright, so I got lots of things I can do. I'm going to use Turn the Tide to pay for my suit. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna prioritize threat at this point. Try to get some damage in. Do I do more setup first? That's a tough choice. Alright, so I'm debating right now which is most important. Shrink, Embiggen, or Sense of Justice. I don't think Sense of Justice, so that's going to go to pay for something. The question is, do I want to be able to pretty easily keep threat well under control, or do I want to do more damage? I think at this stage I'm going to go with Shrink. So I am going to, actually, I'm going to use Big Hands and Sense of Justice to pay for Shrink. And then Nick Fury. You know, we're not going to worry about damage right now. We are going to remove 3 off of this. I'm going to just go into setup mode a little bit here. And I'm going to keep Embiggen and Wiggle Room in my hand right now. Right, so then I get an Endurance, a Sneak By, and a Multitasking. Okay, so at the end of my turn, I need to do Mojo's Force Response, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, and place 1 threat on my hero for each card that is not part of Mojo. So 1, 2, 3, and none of them are, so I'm getting 3 threat on my character. Right, and now Mojo comes to attack. Rather than Nick Fury take it, I'm going to take it because I got a wiggle room. So so he's attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to wiggle room And I am going to bounce it back to my hand and play it again in the same window to prevent all of that damage, and draw 2 new cards, which are Wiccan and a Sneak By. And now we get our encounter card, which is Curtain Call. Move all threat from the character with the most threat on it to the main scheme. All right, so just like that, those 3 threat we put on there is gone. All right, end of turn. Nick Fury goes away. All right, so my turn. We're going to use the suit and a multitasking to play Sneak By, which I'm going to use Shrink on, so I get to remove a total of 5 threat. So 4, 5. You know, we're gonna go for a little bit of damage here. I'm gonna use Endurance and Sneak By to pay for a Wiccan, who is gonna thwart 1 off of this scheme to get it to 2, and then deal 1 damage to Mojo. Now I'm gonna flip down. Oops, consequential for Wiccan. I'm gonna flip down. I am going to use my Miss Marvel ability to look for another Miss Marvel card. The area. Big hands. I'm going to use a mirror. Do I have any doubles in here yet? No. Alright, so my favorite thing to do with the mirror is to just slap Nick Fury and doubles on the bottom, so then I can cycle him all the time and draw a card, which is Dazzler. And then I'm going to use Nakia and Dazzler to play Embiggen. Alright, that is my turn, so we're going to ready everything up. And Mojo's force response is only in hero mode, which I think I've screwed up from time to time, but I don't need to, but let's draw back up. So I've got Big Hands, Sonic Rifle, Lay Down the Law, Skilled Investigator, a Genius, and finally Big Hands again. All right. All right, villain phase. We get 1 on the main. Mojo goes to scheme. He's scheming for 2, 3, and a star. Put 1 threat on each character you control. And then he's scheming for 3. And now we get an encounter card, which is a Gang Up, which surges into the one with the breakup. Each encounter card gains peril, and as an alter ego, discard 3 cards from your hand and choose a player, and the chosen player draws 1 card, and you discard this obligation. Okay, so not only am I getting an extra encounter card from this, but for that, we're going to have to do that. So I think we are going to just have to deal with this here. So first things first, quick check of Miss Marvel cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13. Okay. So I always go and check with Miss Marvel, because she burns through her deck so fast, on whether or not it makes sense to use her ability. So there's 13 Miss Marvel cards either in my hand, in play, or in the discard. So there's only 2 left in here. So before I do that ability, I'm going to Emir. Well, actually, let me see if I want to get a... No, I'm going to use a double for that. So I'm going to Emir. Let's do a Professor X. No, I've got Nick Fury on the bottom. I don't need to do a Professor X. So let's do a Sneak By for threat purposes. And we're going to draw a card. Just multitasking. And now I am going to discard until I find the Miss Marvel card. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to do this. Alter Ego action. Discard 3 cards. I don't need multitasking Don't need skilled investigator. And I will pass on one of the big hands. So I discard 3 cards from your hand. Choose a player. I'm going to choose myself. Chosen player draws 1 card, which is an energy, and I get to discard this. And per this rule, response, when a player discards an obligation, that player draws 1 card. So I get a concussive blow as well. All right. So we are going to have Wiccan thwart 1 off of this, and then deal 1 damage to Mojo. All right. So now the question becomes, do I want to concuss? Yeah, I think I do. So let me just see how I'm going to pay for this before I flip into. Sonic Rifle's going to play with Lay Down the Law. I'm going to use my suit and a double to pay for concussive blow, and then I will be able to big hands as well. Okay. All right, so we are going to... Yeah, unfortunately I won't be able to use my Nokia bonus this turn, but that's okay. So I'm going to flip myself up. As I'm flipping up, I'm going to spend Sonic Rifle to do a Lay Down the Law, in which case I will also shrink it to add it by 2, so that's 4 plus 2 is 6, which this goes on here. So I get to remove 6 threat from a scheme. So that is that. Not going to pull it back to my hand. Or do I want to? Taking a look here. Hang on a second. You know what? Yeah, I'll pull it back to my hand. And in the same window, I'm going to spend wiggle room to play it again. But that wasn't a mental resource, so I only get to remove 3 threat. All right, now I'm going to use my Biokinetic Polymer Suit as a wild and Genius to pay for concussive blow. I get to confuse an enemy, and because this counts as a fist resource, I get to do 3 damage. And now I'm going to use energy to play for big hands, and I'm going to embiggen it, so I'm going to do 4 plus 2, so I'm going to do 6 damage, 5, and 6. And that is my turn, and I'm going to ready everything up. Draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decking next turn. Hey, there's Nick Fury and one of my doubles and my champion's mobile bunker. Okay. All right, so I am in hero form, so I do have to do the forced response here. You get 1 Mojo card. Not a Mojo card, not a Mojo card. So I have to add 2 threat onto my character. All right, villain phase, we get 1 on the main. Mojo comes to attack. I'll have Wiccan jump in front of it. So he's attacking for 1, 2, and a boost star. Place 1 threat on each character you control. So that's a shame. It is going to defeat Wiccan, and it is going to put the 2 up here. All right, and encounter card is Family Matters Obligation. Treat the printed text box of each support you control as if it were blank. Oh no. Alter ego action. Exhaust your identity, and each support you control, discard this obligation. All right, well, so next turn I'm not going to be able to do anything fun. Well, I guess they're not exhausted, they're just blank. All right. So since he's confused, it's not a big deal. I'm going to spend a strength to get a champion's mobile bunker out. I am not going to spend this right. I'm not going to do anything with this right now since I only have 1 card left in my deck. I'm now going to use my suit and a sonic rifle to pay for sneak by, which I'm then going to shrink. Oh, and big one was ready. So that is remove 3 plus 2 more, so 5 total. Clear that out. And then I'm going to flip down, which moves this thread over here. And now I'm going to do this alter ego action, exhaust your identity, and each support you control to discard this obligation. Because I discarded this obligation, I get to draw a card, which is Sneak By, which decks me, gives me an encounter card. Okay. All right, let's ready ourselves up. And that. I'm going to keep both Sneak By and Nick Fury in my hand. Another Sneak By. Turn the Tide. Sonic Rifle. And clear the area. Okay. So villain phase. We don't have to do the force response since we're an alter ego. So villain phase. We get 1 on the main up to 4. He would scheme, but he is confused. And now we get 2 encounter cards. First being Stinger Tail attached to Mojo. Mojo gains Retaliate 2, and then when any amount of damage would be dealt to Mojo, place it here instead. Then if there are at least 5 damage here, discard the Stinger Tail, and he gets a +1 attack. Whew. Double Retaliate and +1. All right, next one is Assault. Surges into Major Domo attached to Mojo. Force response: after Mojo attacks, discard this card from the discard cards from the encounter deck equal to the amount of damage dealt by that attack. Hero action: spend 1 of each resource to discard this card. So now he gets a +1, another +1 attack, and a +1 scheme. All right, I don't like these at all. All right, my turn. We are going to discard until we get a Miss Marvel card. Sonic Rifle, Concussive Blow, Genius, Ironheart. Nope, nope. And this is the downside to Miss Marvel, is you can churn through your deck pretty quick. All right, I found Red Dagger. All right, now I'm going to Emir to put the Genius back on the bottom of my deck. And draw a card, which is Big Hands. I'm now going to use Nakia, one of my Sneak Buys, and clear the area, and I think Red Dagger to pay Nick Fury out, which will draw me 3 cards, multitasking. Bruno. And Professor X. All right. So let's see here. I need 1 of each resource. I think the way this is going to work, I'm not going to get a chance to use... Well, I could use Turn the Tide, but I don't have another lightning resource anyway. Professor X and multitasking to get rid of Major Domo. I'm going to use a Big Hands to do enough damage to take out that. I need 2 cards for that. And I would like to use Sneak By to clear that threat. All right. I think we've got a plan. So we're going to flip ourselves up to Hero. But before I do anything, I'm going to Champion's Mobile Bunker. So I get to draw 2 cards, an Energy and a Multitasking, and now I have to discard 2. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to keep those for that. I'm going to discard one of these Multitaskings, and I guess this Sonic Rifle. Okay. Hero action. I'm going to spend 1 of each resource to get rid of Major Domo. I am now going to use Energy to pay for Big Hands, and I'm going to Biggin it for 6 damage. I take 2 damage in return. because of retaliate. And then if there's at least 5 on here, discard Stinger Tail. That was 6 damage on there. So this goes away. Oops. Wrong pile. Making a mess over here. I'm going to exhaust to pull this back into my hand. I'm now going to use my suit and Bruno to pay for sneak by, and I will shrink it just so I can clear everything. Let that go away. And then Nick Fury is going to punch for 2. I'm going to keep big hands in my hand and then ready myself up. All right, so big hands, turn the tide, go for champions, skilled investigator, and another big hands. All right, I am in hero form, so now I need to go 1, 2, 3. Not Mojo, Mojo, and not Mojo. So 2 threat go on me. All right, he's getting 1. He is coming to attack. And we are getting... Nick Fury's going to jump in front of it. So 1, just 1. Nick Fury survives. And then we get an encounter card, which is Home by Dawn. Give it to me and exhaust to remove the game. So I will do that. Putting the 2 threat on here. Exhaust and remove this from the game. Thank you. Thank you, Mojo. That was very kind of you. Okay, so I've got 2 cards left, which means we're about to get the last of the Mojo side decks in, which is sci-fi, so very minion heavy there. All right, so let us use Miss Marvel's ability to go digging for a Miss Marvel card. Sneak by. And now we are going to Amir. We're going to put energy on the bottom and then draw into Wiccan. All right. Oh, Nick Fury goes away too. Sorry. I'm not used to him surviving the attack phase. All right, I'm going to use Nakia, so the next card that I play will be 1 less, but I'm not playing a card yet. So I'm going to flip up. I'm going to choose Champion's Mobile Bunker. Let's see what I get here. Wiggle Room and Big Hands. Well, I've got all 3 big hands in my decks, or in my hand, so I don't really need those. So 1 big hand goes away, and I'll do Skilled Investigator, because I haven't run into side schemes here, so all right. So I've got a sneak by. If I do a sneak by, I can then do Turn the Tide. And then I can do a sneak by and a big hands. Wouldn't have enough to pay for Wiccan, but that's okay, I think. He'll be hitting... What is stage 2? He's still just a 1 attack, right? Yeah, just a 1 attack. Okay. But I am going to be getting a whole bunch of enemies this turn. Okay. Yep. All right. Got a plan. All right. So now that we're up, I'm going to use my suit and my discount from Nakia to play Sneak By. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. That's all of it. Now I'm going to play Turn the Tide because I thwarted and remove all the threat from a scheme. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. Dealing 3 damage to an enemy. That defeats Mojo, moves him on to phase 2. So phase 2, win reveal, plays 2 threat on each character. And now his force response is 4 cards, not just 3. Right, and he comes in with 18 hit points. Okay, I am now going to use Wiccan and go for champions to play big hands, and I am going to embiggen that big hand, so I'm dealing 6 damage. So getting him down to 12. And that is going to end my turn. I'm going to hold on to the other big hands and wiggle room and ready myself up. So 3 cards, Spider-Man, Strength, and Lay Down the Law. All right. So now, end of my turn, the hero phase. We discard the top 4 cards of the encounter deck, but there's only 2, so Mojo and Mojo, so nothing gets added. However, we have decked out, which now gives us an acceleration token. And now if we look at the Wheel of Genres, forced response after the encounter deck resets. So first we have to reset it. If there are no set-aside modular encounter sets, the players lose. Otherwise, flip this card. All right. So the Wheel of Genres has stopped. Forced interrupt at the start of step 3 of the villain phase. Deal encounter cards. Randomly choose one set-aside modular set. There is only one, the sci-fi. And reveal its show environment. Shuffle the rest of the modular set and place it on top of the encounter deck, and then deal the first player 2 face-down encounter cards and flip this card. So I'm guaranteed to get at least, well, I'm going to get 3 encounter cards all from the sci-fi, which is just chocked full of minions, which are going to come in with tough. So that's not ideal, but we'll deal with it. Okay, so now, villain phase. We get 2 threat on the main. He comes to attack. I'm just going to take it. He's attacking for 1. Just 1. Yeah, I'll wiggle room it just to cycle my deck a little bit, lay down the law. That's not at all helpful. Okay, and now encounter card time. So I have to do this. So first things first, we put the new environment card into play, Mojo Runner. So each minion and each ally gains toughness. So they come in with toughness. And now the encounter deck, which is 5 minions and a side scheme. So we shuffle these up. All right. All right, put them on the top and then deal 2 each player, then flip this card. Okay, now he deals the regular encounter cards. We get 3. Let's see which ones I get. Okay, Iceroid M. Each minion gains guard and patrol. Comes in with 2 threat. All right, well, guarantee you these 2 are minions. Hey, look, it's a minion. Pyro, 2 scheme, 2 attack, 4 hit points. And because of that environment, he comes in with toughness. Forced interrupt. When he attacks you, take 2 indirect damage. And let me look for my... So we've got patrol and we've got guard right now. Right, and this one is Toad 2.0. 2 scheme, 2 attack, 3 hit points, force response. After he engages you, place 1 upgrade you control face down under Toad 2.0. Ooh. Also comes in with tough. Shoot. Upgrade. So not that. So not these. So it's either my suit, shrink, or embiggen. I think I'm going to put shrink underneath for right now. Face down, not that, Matt. And when defeated, you return each card to their hand. Okay. All right, so that is my turn now. So let's Champions Mobile Bunker. Let's see if I can find something that is a little bit more valuable. Sense of Justice. Nope. Clear the area. Clear the area. Like that. Okay, these two lay down the laws don't matter to me. All right, I'm going to use my suit to pay for Clear the Area, which clears Iceroid M, and so we are no longer guarding and patrolling. And because that was the last threat, I get to draw a card, which is Wiggle Room. Okay. All right. So I have enough to get rid of one of these two, but I can't get rid of both of them. So I think we're going to get rid of Pyro here. All right, I'm going to attack to get rid of the Tough. Hurts me to actually use a basic power with Miss Marvel, but what are you going to do? All right, I'm going to use Sense of Justice and Strength to play Spider-Man. Move these up a little bit. And when he enters play, choose attack or thwart, and he gets +2. I'm going to choose attack, so he's attacking for 4. And he takes down Pyro. Right. I've got Big Hands and Wiggle Room in my hand, neither of which are going to do me any good right now. Because I got Wiggle Room, I'm doing good on hit points. I'm just going to stay up in hero form. So, and also that'll churn through the rest of the. That should churn through the rest of the Mojo Runner thing. So, yep. That is it. So, end of my turn. I get 1, 2. Okay, and now I get one more. Sneak by. Now we're going to get myself an encounter card from decking out. Now the end of my turn, we do this, which is 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we get Magneto, not Mojo. Sci-Fi, Avalanche, not Mojo. Supporting actor, Mojo. Standard, not Mojo. So they now have 5 threat on me. Okay. Mojo comes to attack. He's attacking for 1, 2, 3. I am going to Wiggle Room that and draw a card into a sneak by. Right, and now we get, Toad then attacks, and I'll just take it. Taking me down to 6. Now I get 2 encounter cards. This is Blob. Blob 3.14 cannot take more than 2 damage from each hit. And he comes in with Tough. But he only hits for 1 and 1, so he might be a just leave him there scenario. And then Growing Pains Obligation. Increase the cost to play each of your upgrades by 2. Well, I'm not going to play any of my upgrades at the moment. An alter ego action, discard an upgrade you control or discard an upgrade from your hand. If you have more upgrades in your discard pile than in play, discard this obligation. Okay, well, I've only got 2 upgrades right now, but I'm also not going to have upgrades in my discard, so that might sit there for the rest of the game. Okay, so my turn. All right, so let's see here. So we got Big Hands, which I can play twice, which is 10 damage, and that. And these guys don't have guard, right? Nope, these two don't have guard. So, all right, we're just winning. Okay, we're going to use energy to play big hands. We're going to embiggen that. Deal 6 damage, so there's 5, there's 6. Then I'm going to use my ability to pull it back to my hand. No, not the energy. I wish. And then I'm going to use Genius to pay for big hands again. Deal 4 damage, which takes him down to 2. And then just for the heck of it, I'm going to use my suit and sneak by to remove the threat here. And then Spider-Man is going to come swing and do 2 damage to defeat Mojo. So Mojo has been defeated by Miss Marvel Justice pretty handily, really. Sci-Fi, if we would have kept going, would have given me a little problems just with all the minions with toughness. But as you can see, we managed to get through it. So, I just realized I made a huge playthrough mistake. I wasn't... Oh no, that Patrol only does the main scheme. I was thinking I couldn't take the side scheme out while Patrol was out. Never mind. It's Sunday morning and I haven't had enough caffeine yet. So, hope you like this Miss Marvel mini campaign through Mojo with Justice. Still, after all this time of the game, Miss Marvel is still overall my favorite hero. She is so much fun to play with the bouncing of events and all the crazy shenanigans she can do while she's flipping back and forth. So hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment. Next up, I think I'm going to take Villain Theory's next Unusual X-Men deck up, which is a Phoenix Aggression deck, and run that through a scenario and see how it goes. So again, as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.